With Brecon Farms, we welcome you to this box seat special. Yes, it is the Auckland Cup box seat special. From us to you, compliments of the season. Let's get right into it. Coming up on this box seat Auckland Cup special, we catch up on all things harness racing from the last few weeks. Steve Telfer joins the show to talk about getting that elusive training record. He's got the green light to be back on track and celebrates with a Gore Cup victory. We catch up with Nathan Williamson. And we preview all of the action on New Year's Eve and hear from Scott Phelan, who has 3 in the Cup. That's all to come on the box seat. Let's crack right in and start with a look back.
Shinbell fights hard. Moanui in out wide. Silent Theory. Moanui through it on the inside, and Liam Cable loved it. He moves up on the outside, grabs the lead. A terrific performance, and he defends his crowd. Republican Party beat the Lazarus Effect.
Okada Dalgetty got his first Group 1 win here in Invercargill with Krug. He's now won 3 Invercargill Cups. Republican Party's made it 2.
But it is sooner the better, and he'll turn the tables on them this year. Sooner the better gets the win. Beautifully handled by young Harrison Orange. He's got the makings of a great driver, hasn't he? 120 left to go and a great stoush here. Hillbilly Blues goes to the lead now from Belnege. Hillbilly Blues, the Walk the Hill gelding, and that's 3 for Walk the Hill on Golden Gate night. The Iceman, what's that for the season? 32, and the country's best, 3,725th career New Zealand success is the Golden Gate Age Trot.
It's Amaretto Franco, and Amaretto Franco is going to draw clear and win it. A great legacy of one of our great New Zealand Cup winners, the three-peat, and he's got a three-peat here today. But with 100 metres left to go, it's all over. It's a local win. A Mass is too good. A Mass beats Kiss the Girls. Third will be Bowl Them Over. Terra to Love gets another win as his sire today. This time a Mass. Johnny Morrison looked left, he looked right, he looked left again. There was no other horse winning the race than a Mass number 15.
Hacksaw Ridge in front, Jed's Legacy, he's lifting off the canvas, the inside post comes Hacksaw Ridge. Too good for Jed's Legacy. Robbie will grab a double on the card, and Hacksaw Ridge has been too good. Here's Premium Player letting down, then 1 Allen behind them with 2 Tangata. Rachmaninoff, but Premium Player joins and goes straight on by. His turn of foot is simply sensational.
Jimmy Carter rolls to the top, and Jimmy Carter's going to be too good. Jimmy Carter has won from Patilda Wainwright, Maui and Vertigo. Great to see Nathan Williamson on track today. He's going to get the Pacing Cup with Always Dreaming, who demolishes his rivals. What a win! What a performance. Matthew Williamson gets the Trotting Pacing Cup double.
Yes, there has been a bit happening in the last 10 or 12 days here in the game that never sleeps. Hopefully everybody's travelling safe around the country. It's time now for us to take a look at our standouts over the last few days and say g'day to the team. Brittany Graham and Greg O'Connor, as always, with me in the studio. Brett, compliments of the season to you. Hope you had a nice time away with the family. I'm sure you would have been tuned in. Was there something that stood out along the way?
It was a great week or so, wasn't it? And it continues through to tomorrow night's Alexandra Park card map. Yes, it was nice to take a few quiet days, but certainly racing never sleeps, and that was the case here in New Zealand right across the festive period. But this was a clear standout for mine. Stonewall stud Stephen Amanda Telfer breaking that training wins in a season record. They were able to do it at Westport on Sunday with Electric King, setting a new benchmark of 169 training successes in a single season. I think there was a lot of really cool parts to this story. One was that, of course, it is a new record and it's taken an awful long time for that to be achieved, over 30 years in fact. And I know a few people have said, well, of course they had weight in numbers, but if it was easy, it would have been done a long, long time ago. So all credit to them. Also, of course, Steve working alongside the Purdens, so for him to learn the trade for them and then really go on with things in this training caper, I thought it was just a massive achievement all in all. So looking forward to catching up with Steve a little later on.
Thanks, Brett. Looking forward to your insight through the show as well. G'day, Greg. Same to you. Hope you've had a nice time with the family over the last few days. There's been many highlights. Was there one thing better than everything else for you?
Yeah, there was. Hi to Britt, you, everyone at home. Hope the festive season is going well for you. We've all been touched by the Nathan Williamson story, and what happened in the Gore Cup was something pretty special. Brother Matthew doing the steering, always dreaming, stepped brilliantly, found the front. Nathan was on course. We know the story. He wasn't going to be able to get home for Christmas. He and Katie got home with the kids, then turned up. And a horse that he's talked about for a long time, being one that should go all the way through the grades, delivers in good style. And there's Nate, who we're going to talk to as well on the show, which is something that most of us weren't thinking was going to be possible in 2025. It'll be super to have him on tonight.
It will be. It was a great piece of television watching him there at Gore on the 27th. My highlight, we're going back to Westport. Jimmy Curtin with his 100th victory at Westport. What a great few days it's been over there. He was able to get his victory and cement his place in a little bit of history. And I know that the club gave him a great shout after the race as well. So congratulations to him. I know that him and Sandy love trekking over there each and every year. And for him to win 100 races around Westport, when you bear in mind that we don't race there all that often, was no mean feat. We saw the vision earlier of Republican Party winning the Auckland Cup. We're going to speak about him quite a bit over the next 60 minutes, but we'd better take a look back on what was an incredible performance. The Lazarus Effect was able to lead them up, Brittany, but there was a point around the corner where he went back in, and for some people it was probably thoughts of a 50-50 result, but the class prevailed in the end.
And then for him to peel off that Bob Butt helmet and sprint again, when it just seemed at that point the Lazarus Effect was able to find half a length, was a really gritty performance. The time was very, very solid. We know how hard it is to win off handicaps in any race, let alone at that top company, Greg. But I just love the way even through the line he was so incredibly strong as well. So he's gone back-to-back in that race. He'll try to do the same in the Auckland Cup. The Lazarus Effect was enormous. Only his 13th career start. He's that next wave coming through. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I can't wait to see where he's at in 12 months' time. And a much improved performance by Wagstar as well. He did a stack of work. I thought he was very brave, but all in all, it was a great race to watch.
Yeah, it really was. And all the plaudits have to go with this horse, the Republican Party. You don't come off a mark like that in a Group 1 race and have to sit outside them. Admittedly, that wee break he had certainly aided his chances. And I think No Wee Walk by Faith, who probably would have been in that spot in the race also. But you can't take anything away from him. He's a very, very good horse. He's been our best horse, Matthew, over the last 12 months, quite clearly. And he'll probably show us again on New Year's Eve why.
Do you think he's at his ceiling? Is he peaking, or is there some way that Cran and Chrissy can find another length or two in him?
Does he need to? The way he's going, let's face it, if he finds the front in this race, he'll win it. Over 2 miles for sure, unless Merlin's sitting on his tail and just comes with one really quick run at him. I don't know that it'll be as simple as that though, Brittany, because sooner the better steps quickly. Merlin, we saw how fast he can step in the Coca-Cola Cup, and I love the draw for Better Knuckle Up. It's almost like he's unruly. He'll be late to come in. He's obviously got a new driver, Tony Hurler. He's driven 8 Auckland Cup winners. He'll give this horse every chance to make it 9.
Well, I think for the other horses in this race outside of Republican Party, their one opportunity is at the start of this race. There probably is no logical horse that can sit outside him and pressure him and still be in the contest. So their one opportunity, Matt, I think, is to try and get in front of him at the start and then have tactical advantage. I still think the barrier draw is perfect for him, and I know we'll break it apart in a little bit more depth early on, but that's where the $1.40 could look like a great price, or could be a little testing for a while there.
We'll talk more about the Auckland Cup a little bit later on in the show. We've got Michael Guerin and Craig the Whale Thompson along to dissect the 3,200 metre feature. One man who's going to play a big part in that is Scott Phelan, one half of the Purdon-Phelan training partnership. Great to have you back on the show, Scotty. Trust you have had a good time with the family over the last week or so. But as I said earlier, the game that never sleeps, and a big night for you guys coming up on New Year's Eve. How's things?
Yeah, thanks, Nah. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you guys. Yeah, had a good Christmas down at Christchurch this time with Emma's family, and yeah, happy to be home too.
Scott, we'll get to the big night, New Year's Eve, shortly. Let's go back to Ashburton, though, and the performance of Greased Lightning. This is a race you guys obviously targeted, and, well, he turned up $1.10, but he did exactly what we all hoped he'd do. Yeah,
look, he did. Like, he's a really nice horse, and, you know, he looked pretty much to a good thing in the race, but you've still got to come out and do it, and, you know, he did that, but he probably did it a little bit easier than it probably looked. He was sort of booping around up the straight, and yeah, he's got a well-earned break now, and we'll see what we do after that.
Yeah, that is the question. What do you target with him, and can we expect him to continue to go up the leaderboard, if you like, amongst his age group? Because he follows such the speed in such a good way that he's going to be competitive regardless of who he's against. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, look, he's not far away. Like, obviously the 2-3-year-olds this year, they put a bit of a margin into the rest, and he was probably, you know, second or third in that bunch. So yeah, look, he starts to step up a bit, and look, we hope he does, and we'll see how we go.
Sooner the better, delivered for you in the Golden Gate, and we get to see him in the Auckland Cup, a race he performed with great distinction in last year. He was too good in this race, positively driven by Harry, who's obviously got a great association with this horse now. And once he rolled to the top, he just loves it out there, doesn't he?
Yeah. Look, he seems to go his best races in front, even though he has one off the speed. But he's such a trier, and you know, they do well to get past him. So yeah, look, Harry drove him well. It was in a good, nice enough field too. So. Yeah, look, he deserves every win he gets, and being fresh up after probably about 6 weeks, it probably suited him also.
Scott, great to have you joining us on the show. Speaking of that sort of 6 weeks he had between his Southern campaign and the Golden Gate, it's a little different to how you planned his, I guess, Auckland Cup grand final last year, where he had some more racing. So is there still some improvement to come, and can he go a few positions better than this time 12 months ago in the Group 1?
Yeah, look. Hey, Brett, how are you? Look, it's just probably this time after the New Zealand Cup, it just took him a little bit more time to get over that run. Such a brutal race, and yeah, it probably just took him a bit more time. So we just give him that time to freshen up and back to the mile, which suits him great. And look, he stays generally pretty fit himself. So look, if he went 1 or 2 spots close in the Auckland Cup, you know, everyone will be over the moon.
And it would be awesome for Harrison Orange as well, getting his first Group 1 opportunity. That must be an exciting side story to this race all in all. He must be very excited and looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, well, look, I hope so. So, you know, they're not easy races to get drives in, and, you know, at a young age, he's done really well so far, so deserved his opportunity, and hope it all goes well for him.
Merlin is back for another opportunity himself, second in last year's edition, and he was able to prepare with that Franklin Cup success. And then he went to the workouts, and a few people asked me if I'd seen it prior to watching it, because they were pretty impressed to the eye. And after I watched it myself, I was much the same. How has he come through that workout? He looked very sharp.
Yeah, well, look, he was great coming through it. Look, Barry couldn't have been any happier with him. So, you know, that's a tick in anyone's book. And look, the way he's worked on since that trial, look, we couldn't be happier with him. And look, he's in a really good space. So, you know, we're all go for Wednesday.
All right, sounds like horse, driver, trainer confidence around Merlin. The other runner you've got is Better Knuckle Up, I guess. If you had one Christmas wish, Scotty, it would be to see him step away safely and put himself in the race. Can he do that in the Auckland Cup?
Yeah, well, look, yeah, we'll be keeping our fingers crossed, that's for sure. But he's a bloody good horse, and if he goes away with them, he won't be far away from them because he follows great speed and he's shown in the past that he can certainly upset the faves.
Right, so it sounds as though Merlin isn't quite a standout for you. You're giving Better Knuckle Up a sneaky win chance.
Oh, yeah, look, Merlin's probably our number one pick for the stable, but, Better Knuckle Up, he's not far away from him. So 2 miles will definitely suit Better Knuckle Up as well. And, let's just hope Little Sooner the Better's not far away either.
All right, they all look good chances. Scotty, you've got some others in on the program. They're on Trillion Trust Auckland Cup night as well. We're bringing them up for you very shortly. Is there something that you can lead the punters into outside of the Auckland Cup runners?
Look, we really like the Night Agent in the first. He was probably a little bit on the weak side the first half of the season, and look, he seems to be getting better with each run. So I'm happy with his Golden Gate run last time, and look, he hasn't got a great draw, but not many have, to be honest. So if he gets that little bit of luck, we expect him to be pretty hard to beat.
And just before we let you go, Scotty, news coming out this week that the star mare from your stable, Duchess Megxit, has been retired, which is incredibly unfortunate, but for you guys in the ownership group, there's some great memories.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very good filly, very quick, and we couldn't thank Thomas Patterson and his whole ownership group enough for entrusting us with her, because she done great for the stable, and we wish them the best, and we wouldn't mind getting one of those foals sooner or later.
All right, good luck in the Trillion Trust Auckland Cup, Scotty, and all the best for the new year. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You have a good new year too.
Very good. There's Scott Phelan, part of the Barry Purdon Scott Phelan partnership, and it does sound as though Duchess Megxit may have a date, or already had a date, with Captain Treacherous by the sounds of things. So that foal might be worth $1 or $2. And we're moving on to our next guest from Scott Phelan. We're taking you over to Steve Telfer, one half of the Stonewall Stud Training Partnership, along with Amanda Telfer. Steve, welcome to the show. Congratulations to you and your entire team on what must have been a hugely satisfying moment at Westport when Electra King got a nose over the line.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. We were, a very proud moment for ourselves and the stable and all the staff to finally get that win, and very pleased to bring it up at Westport.
Steve, congratulations. It's been an enormous 12 months. In fact, it's been an enormous last 4 or 5 years for the Steves. You and Steve Stockman, of course, Jill heavily involved in this, your sister Amanda. Was it always a target? And I know it's been well documented. You worked for Roy and Barry. You looked at the picture on the wall. You knew 168 was the number you had to get to. But when did it really start to sink in that it was possible?
Yeah, look, I've got to be honest and say Steve challenged us right at the start of the season to Mandy and myself to set a high goal and aim to get that 169. I've got to say, probably didn't think we were going to be able to achieve it, but we had a great winter. Kept more horses in work during winter, and we had a terrific winter and a lot of luck through the year. And probably through the winter period, we realised that it was, definitely possible if we managed to keep the horses on the track and have a little bit of luck through the last half of the year.
You've got a big team around you, staff, both north and south. It must just be an enormous logistical task between you two. How does it all work? And on a weekly basis, does it start on a Monday and roll through, or is it Sunday night? How does it work?
Mandy, she basically runs the South Island stable and just leans on me now for support when she needs it. We talk about things during the weekend on a Sunday and where we're headed and what's coming up. But Mandy's been with me for a good few years now, and she's really she's very, as everyone knows, she's a great worker and very dedicated and does a great job. So she's taken on full responsibility of running the South Island stable, and I just sort of supervise and oversee it. And we do the one up here, and it all seems to work in good.
Yeah, it is a wonderful team effort, Steve, by the sounds, and all of the support around both yourself and Mandy as well, I'm sure doesn't go unnoticed. Was there a favourite moment, a favourite win throughout this year? It mightn't have necessarily been the biggest of them, but is there one point in time that stands out for you?
Yeah, we cherish all wins for the owners and everything, no matter where they are. I've taken great pride in travelling and supporting just about all the clubs through New Zealand with with our stable in both islands. Probably the win that sticks out for me the most was the Harness Millions when Stella Rouge was able to sit parked outside Arafura and beat her. And she's a great filly. She just had a little bit of a tendon issue shortly after that. We're hoping to get her back towards the end of next season, but she's a great mare.
Yeah, she sure is, and it will be exciting to see her back in action, and very exciting to see this really nice group of 2-year-olds about to turn 3 that I'm sure are going to really set a lovely foundation heading forward as well. We had a discussion in the lead up to this milestone as a panel around where there could be even more wins for the Stonewall operation, and that could potentially come via the trotting gate. Now, yourself and the entire team invested heavily in the Square Gators this year at the sales. So how are they shaping up, and could we see you really move into that space now?
Oh, look, definitely. Trotting is I think it's pretty lopsided. The pacing wins to the trotting wins. So, especially up here in Auckland, half the card of trotting races. So that's half the meetings, half the races we can't compete in. So, we're going into it. Bought well. I think we've bought well over the last couple of years, and hopefully that'll come through, later this year and into the next year. But a couple of quite happy with a lot of the trotters. As they're coming up. I think BD Hall is going to be a nice horse with time. He's such a big fella. When he figures it all out, I think he's got quite a good motor, and I'm really excited about a few of the babies that are coming through.
Steve, before we let you go, we'll touch quickly on Alexandra Park, Trillium Trust Auckland Cup night. You've got some runners in there. Arcatea, obviously, she's a very talented mare on her day. Is she somewhere near her best?
Yeah, look, she's actually really well. She hasn't had a lot of luck from second row draws in the 2 big mares races, and then out the back of 20 metres in a stand last week at Cambridge. But look, she's really well, worked good yesterday morning, and it's only 1700. So we'll probably look to put her in the race and see how she goes from there. But she's in a good space anyway.
Belated happy birthday, by the way, Steve, for the 26th of December. Thanks for joining us on the show. You've had a hell of a year, onwards and upwards from here.
Yeah, cheers for that, mate.
All right, and you can catch an in-depth interview on the Guerin Report next Monday with Steve Telfer, where Michael asks him all of the important questions and has a nice sit-down chat and gets a great insight into the operations around Stonewall Stud. Brittany obviously catching up yesterday with Amanda Telfer at the Mott. Just before we get to Nathan Williamson, though, the Mott, they broke a record yesterday.
They did, Matthew. The highest turnover for a grass track race meeting ever here in New Zealand. 13 races, just under $2 million. Gee, the people on course that day must have been quite remarkable.
Are you saying that we did a good job?
Those two people there, yes. Oh. No, outstanding. But that's huge. Like, to do 1.998, I think it was. It was a good day there.
I think Britt's learning too.
The old Bermuda Triangle, yes. It gets us all, Brittany. Yeah. It gets us all.
Sometimes the theories.
At least the best got home right, Matt, if nothing else.
Didn't it win good too? Captain Tyrone.
Let's
move on. Nathan Williamson joins us on the show. Nath, I can tell you that you've got 3 people here in the studio who are absolutely chuffed to have you back on the show. What a ride the last couple of weeks has been for you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. No, look, great to be back on the show. And, it's some sort of ride, I suppose. Not one I want to go on again, but, really rapt to be here.
Nathan, so many people across Australasia, around the world, interested in your well-being. I'm sure you've got a message of thanks to them and the support shown to Katie, to your mum and dad, your brothers, the entire Williamson clan. It's been off the charts, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Greg. Look, it really has. Really humbling, to be honest. To get so many well wishes from not just the harness racing community, but just people all around the world, just reaching out and offering their support. So it's certainly been been humbling, and very thankful for it all.
It was going to be touch and go whether you got home for Christmas. What about when you got the news that you were able to travel home and be with the kids? It must have made it almost the best Christmas ever.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. Look, things weren't looking too good. Probably, just 3 or 4 days before Christmas. There was concerns that I wasn't going to be able to fly. So, but I had a CT scan and it come back really good, and they said that I could fly if I wished to. So, managed to get on a flight home, and just great to get home, and the kids were excited to see me, and it's just really special.
And then you rock out to Gore, stick that brother of yours, Matthew, who I'm sure you wouldn't have had to give too many instructions, although I did hear a little rumour you might have given him a couple, but he does like to find the front, and once he got there, it was always Dreaming's race to lose, and he never looked like losing. This must have been pretty cool to be standing over the fence watching this.
Oh, it really was. Look, Greg, he's a pretty underrated horse, this fella. He's, he's not probably, he's no marketplace or got the top blitz, but he's not far away from the rest of them. And, he's got a good wee record, and he's a good staying horse. So we thought, stepping up into some of these country cup races will really suit him. And it was his first stand, but he showed that, what we thought he might be a really good beginner. So, Matty drove him a treat and worked out super.
Yeah, wonderful to have you joining us, Nathan, and thanks for taking the time to update everybody. Well, what we've just seen by Always Dreaming winning that Gore Cup is that there's been a few people clearly pulling their weight at home and at the stable to keep things ticking over. And for a while there, they were probably doing it off their own bat without your assistance, so to speak. But that's the wonderful thing about this harness racing game. Everybody chips in and pulls their weight, so to speak. And to be fair, the team hasn't missed a beat, not only with this win, but Clotilda Wainwright in the Harness 5000 as well. Things have just continued on nicely.
Absolutely, Brett. Look, a lot of people to thank, and the staff at home have just done a terrific job. They've just kept things ticking away, just as if I was here. So, as you mentioned, Clotilda Wainwright winning impressively at Ashburton, and then Always Dreaming winning the other day. So, all the staff have done a terrific job, and and not only their staff, just people that have helped and chipped in. It's been amazing, and thankful to them all.
What's next for you in this recovery, so to speak? What are the next steps and next milestones that you have to achieve? And I'm sure you've been asked this many, many times, but getting back out there in the bike, how far away can we expect that to transpire?
I just had a meeting this morning with a specialist. It's probably going to be quite some time. Like the injuries to my... I did have a wee brain bleed, and I had some quite significant injuries to my head. So, just monitoring that, and just seeing how I do recover. They haven't given me a time frame yet, but it certainly won't be in the next sort of month to 6 weeks. After that, we'll just have to see how we go. But I won't be rushing things back. They've sort of advised me not to. So, we'll just be taking our time, and hopefully, the brothers and Craig Ferguson and a few of them can steer home a few winners in the meantime.
All right, Nath, we'd love to have you back on the show at some point over the next month or 6 weeks, so you can give us the update on how you're going. It's great to see you again, and great to see you're back on track. We look forward to having you back in the bike, and thanks for joining us today.
No, thanks very much, and thank you all for your support as well. Cheers.
There's Nathan Williamson. We're going to take a break here on The Box Seat, brought to you by Brecon Farms. After this, we'll welcome in Michael Guerin, and we'll have a look at Quick Hitch.
Republican Party in front, Mawunga flies, Republican Party.
Republican Party in front. Sooner the better. We walk by faith. Had to be steadied up, and he still can't get a crack at them. Republican Party. Cardinal getting brilliant drive.
It's Republican Party holding the Kiwi flag, loud and proud, heading to the New Zealand Cup, and Republican Party wins the flying stake.
Amazes me about him, he's just so strong now and he's doing it all so good, so yeah, confidence levels probably couldn't be higher.
So we had our pacing power rankings right throughout the back half of the season, at least, where we all voted each week on the performance of the weekend. It is no surprise who came out on top. The little horse that could, Republican Party, and Britt, this is the year that he has had. Doesn't get too much better than that, but one more task yet to come.
It could get a little bit better, couldn't it? And he could take his season earnings up and over $500,000, which is quite a remarkable year all in all. He was up early in the year. Of course, he went across and competed in the Hunter Cup, where he was a bit of an unlucky effort on that occasion. Then he came back and there wasn't many big fights that he missed either, Greg. So great to see him in that position now and as a real force on the open class, and looking forward to seeing him, of course, tomorrow night. But then next year, he's only still, in the big scheme of things, a relatively young horse.
Yeah, he really is, and he was always going to win the power rankings because he's been the most consistent. He just lines up, does what he does, and invariably it's at the top end of the field. He didn't quite do it in the New Zealand Cup, but I don't think the connections will be too concerned about that. In fact, I ran into Anne Mee at Wingatui the other day. She is the most proud part owner of this horse. Her husband Graham's a great horseman. We know he's a clerk of the course down there. She said she's just loving racing him. So the big ownership group that are involved, they'll be cheering him home tomorrow night.
Wicked stuff. That'll be in the Trillion Trust Auckland Cup with Brecon Farms. We're going to take you over to Michael Guerin now. Just quickly, Brecon Farms, they have released their videos, I think today, for their yearlings for the upcoming NZB Standard Bred yearling sales, so be sure to jump on and check them out. Michael Guerin, welcome to the show, and a very happy birthday to you, my friend. Great to see you.
Thank you, Matt. Nice to be joining you guys again, and hey, well done to everybody at Trackside, to you guys in the studio and all the tech team right around the country. Been watching a lot of racing the last 4 or 5 days, a lot of people taking time away from their families to get the job done, to make all those wins for all those owners something special. So I've really enjoyed it, guys. It's been a cool time for racing. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, but I know in our quick hitch we've got a question which I think needs to be asked, because I've been to a lot of Auckland Cups and I can't remember a weaker Auckland Cup night away from the big two races. Not trying to be negative, we'll touch on that very shortly, Matt, in quick hitch. I think Greg might have found a way to solve it.
All right, we've got 4 quick hitches for you this evening, and you know the rules. You have 20 seconds each, and if you talk over that time, you will be muted. We're going to start away with you, Britt. Yearling sales coming up. Obviously, we've got all of the pedigrees. Black type. Currently, it's 2 minutes. Should it be 1:58?
I think it could even be a little lower, that mark to hit to grab black type, Matt. I really think in this day and age, they're going so fast, particularly in Australia. You see in low-grade races, 54 and 53 mile rates not being out of the norm. Here it's a little different with the lack of mile racing, but at least 56 for mine.
Yeah, I think the greatest example of it was Ashburton, Harness 5000 Day. Basically every horse that went around went under 2 minutes, and a lot of them went very close, if not under 1:55. I'd go that far. I'd go down to 1:55. I know that's probably a big step for the breeders, but I think eventually we should get there, Michael, because horses are going much quicker.
Should have happened 10 years ago. We are the embarrassment of the black type world racing of either code. It's absolutely ridiculous. Black type should mean superior horse, one worth breeding from. Any qualified horse in New Zealand could go to Ashburton and run under 2 minutes. It is a joke. It's about time we stopped stuffing around and fixed it.
Okay, that's why we're doing quick hitch. Thanks, Michael. Well, while you're on a bit of a heater, we'll come straight back to you. The next quick hitch, Harness 5000, was it a success?
I loved it. I didn't see the betting figures, and obviously they were important, but I presume they were pretty good, big, sizable fields. Winners from all around the country, from Grease Lightning in the north, obviously Little Spike, down to the trotting races predominantly being won by Southlanders. I think it was superb. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to it next year.
And I think with another 12 months for people to prepare for it as well, Michael, we'll see even more horses targeted towards it, and we'll see flow-on effects, not only on that day, but in lead-up with hopefully fuller fields trying to get qualified and then breeding to these Harness 5000 eligible stallions. It's going to be exciting going forward.
1.186 million, well ahead of meeting the previous year. You would expect that to happen, though. There are some other bonuses too. For example, $250,000 saved by horses dropping below $5,000 in service fees. That's got to be a big tick as well. It'll be reviewed. I think it was a fantastic success, and I'd love to see a couple of enhancements too.
Thanks, Greg. You can head to HRNZ as well. They've released today, I think, the details for the Harness 5000 next year with all of those guidelines and an extended period as well. Greg, straight back to you, and this is a question that I'm sure that many people will be asking. Should the Golden Gate be on New Year's Eve?
Absolutely, it should be, Matthew. I reckon you have 7 of them. Drop the 2-year-olds. They've had every opportunity to race throughout the year. No need to have them on the final night. Replace them with the National Trot and the Auckland Cup. Also, that would mean on the 19th you could have a lead-up race for those horses wanting to go into the Group 1s. At the moment, because of the Golden Gate, there isn't one.
Yeah, I agree. It's a poor card on the support card tomorrow night. The Golden Gate would add some anticipation to the evening. And the meeting on the 19th doesn't matter too much what you do race there. They get Christmas carnival people going along. It's their pre-Christmas drinks and dinners. They'll still turn up. Tomorrow night's the meeting. I'm worried people may lose their focus on Brittany.
I understand and agree with many of your points, but also that would not allow some of the horses that go around in the Auckland Cup and in the National Trot to have their rightful opportunity to race in the Golden Gate. It's the same with the Harness 5000. I understand where you're coming from, but probably those tier horses just below the best, they need their opportunities for big money all the time.
One final quick hitch for the year, Brittany. We've got the Night of Champions, obviously, at the start of next year. How do we keep the Aussies around?
We're just looking at the slot holders for the race. There's going to be plenty of Australians, and most of them didn't stay around last year. The obvious inclusion is a bonus for if you're able to win the race or the TAB Trot and another couple of races. It's a long, drawn-out carnival there, Michael. I'm wondering also if we can trim it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe shorten the gap between Cambridge and Alexandra Park. Bonuses have to be if you win, say, 2 of the 3 or 2 of the 4 if you had the Roy Purdon. Because if you only make it the winner, then only the winner sticks around. So I like the idea of some bonuses or extended payments. You've also got to say to yourself, is it worth paying appearance money, not just to Australians, but to some horses to get them there?
Yeah, I think the bonus system works if you base it around, say, age group. So the 4-year-olds, if you want them to, and let's face it, in the old they'd be 5. So yeah, things have changed a lot in that regard. Bonuses are the way to keep them here. The season's blooming long at the moment, and if we want them back in the spring, we can't make it any longer than what it is now.
Great stuff. I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed Quick Hitch. I think it's been a great addition to the show. And the feedback that I get from people, I know that you do as well, what's on Quick Hitch tonight? So if anybody's got any suggestions of what we could talk about on Quick Hitch, feel free to let us know.
Just on, Matt, just on that paying appearance money for horses, people might find that strange. Kingswood, the horse who won the Zabeel Classic the other day, it added so much interest to the race, and that's going to flow on through the Herbie Dyke and the Bone Crusher. NZT are paying those horses a fee to come over. So basically they're paying their flights, more or less. The fees are around about $10,000. When you think about it, it makes sense because it creates enough interest in Australian media and therefore turnover that you can say to yourself, if the horse is good enough and if it's in a Group 1, can we look to do that? If you were, say, to bring, and just stick with me here, Leap to Fame, Kingman, and one other very good horse, maybe an open class trotter, and you're willing to spend $25,000, isn't that $25,000 better spent? Now, you might say, well, they've won enough money. Do they really need that money to come across? Well, I got Kingswood here last week. I think it's something worth looking at in the scheme of marketing budgets for harness racing in this country and some of the other things we do. It's time to start thinking about it. And it used to happen with harness racing Victoria and our best horses. I'm not saying the carnivals need the Aussies exclusively, but I do think it's a way of keeping them here. You could say if you come for the race and you stick around for the Roy Purdon or one of the races like the Messenger, we'll pay for you to go home. People just like a little bit of a special, a little bit of a bonus. And I think even though the money may not matter, that intent could be one way of helping fix this problem.
Thanks, Michael. You went well over 20 seconds, but because it's your birthday, we'll let you away with it. We're going to head to a break here on The Box Seat, brought to you by Brecon Farms, and we're going to take you to the break with our Trotters Power Ranking winner, the Big M. 15 starts, 4 wins, over $200,000. He was Mr. Consistent through the season. Lyle Creek Stakes, at Canterbury Park Trotting Cup, and for the 4th time, was it? The Ashburton Trotters Sprint at Group 3 level. What a horse he is, and he is your Trotters Power Ranking winner for 2025.
Muscle Mountain comes through. Queen of Light is late, deep on the passing lane, but Muscle Mountain, the Big M, he's back in winning business.
Euro style, grabbed by Muscle Mountain, and Muscle Mountain wins the Canterbury Park Trotting Cup. What a win!
I say it every time, but I'm just so lucky to be driving.
Bet and win went roughly. Muscle Mountain's gone past. Here's 4 Ashburton Trotting Sprints. He is like a fine wine, this horse, and that's a vintage win.
It's an amazing achievement to win one group race, let alone, 4 of them, 4 of the same race. Testament to Mum and Dad, how well they've looked after him.
As the sun sets, the curtain comes down on the 2025 racing season. A twilight finale headlined by 2 Group 1 features. The Group 1 Auckland Cup, 3,200 metres of stamina and class, with stars of the great game among the leading contenders.
Republican Party and Cardinal get him.
Alongside it, the Group 1 National Trot brings together our elite trotters.
Mighty Logan puts them away. That's a big win. The Braxton Farriers worthy queen to Oscar Bonavina.
2 Group 1 races, 1 twilight stage and 1 iconic venue. Group 1 Auckland Cup Day, New Year's Eve at Alexandra Park.
Trillion Trust Auckland Cup, some great memories over many, many years. You're with Brecon Farms here on The Box Seat, and we are at the back end of the show. Time to take a look now at our feature race preview, and we're going to welcome in Craig the Whale Thompson. Craig, compliments of the season to you. Great to have you back here on the show, and a race that I'm sure brings back a lot of great memories for you, not only to watch, but maybe a few on the punt as well.
Yeah, for a long time, Matt. Compliments of the season to you. Right back to, I think, Armalite back in '83, so that's a fair while ago. But even 10 years ago, when Chris and me beat Adore Me, it seems a fair while ago now, but it was a Dalgety victory, and I think we'll see that again tomorrow afternoon, Matt. Looking forward to it. He's a very short price favourite, $1.40, but a deserved favourite.
Well, we've had the insight from Scott Phelan earlier on in the show around his 3 runners. Let's take a look at the market and dissect the Group 1 Trillion Trust Auckland Cup. Brittany, starting away with you. We've had a bit of chat around this already. We've heard from Scotty. How are you feeling about the race?
He deserves favouritism. You don't often see a $1.40 favourite hit a race quite of this stature, but he has been the best right throughout this season, and it just looks a perfect starting position for him as well, Republican Party in barrier number 2. If you're drawn down in 1, there's that trepidation around if he's a touch slow, but either way, he's straight in the running line, Greg. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I think there has to be some action early, because for all of his rivals, their one opportunity is to get in front of him at the start, and if they do, then they have the ball in their court, so to speak. I'm not sure that they can, because he is such a safe and quick beginner himself, and I'm not sure there's another that's at least a length quicker than him, but I think there has to be something happening in that run to the first turn.
Yeah, that definitely does, and that's got to be the modus for these horses, the drivers in particular, that they need to get in front of him and try and stay in front of him. Craig, we've seen it for such a long period of time in these big races when you get the absolute elite, and he is clearly the best horse in this race, the $1.40 will tell you that, then you can't afford to let him get too far in front of you.
No, you can't, Greg. I think it's a better horse this year than he was last year when he went round. I mean, they only went 4 minutes last year and he came off the trail and he was too good for Merlin, who had to come from back in the field. Probably the only concern I've got from him this week is he's drawn barrier 2, and just looking at last week's Franklin Cup or 2 weeks ago, the 220-metre back markers, both Akuta and Merlin began that quickly. They were in front and 3 back on the fence. So he might not just find the front initially, but I think the lead will be there for him if he comes a-looking, because either of those two would be happy to take a trail. I think everybody who's watched harness racing in this country this year knows he's the best horse we have. I absolutely can't back him or tip you to back him at $1.40. That's ridiculous. Now, I know horses have won the Cup recently that short. Self-Assured won $1.40, Vincent was $1.30, but the discrepancy between the chances, percentage chances of him at that price, which is a 40% profit for your money, versus Merlin at 380% profit for your money, is ridiculous. In 12 races they've met, it's 7-5 to Merlin. Now, yes, Republican Party's been the superior horse in the last year, but he did beat him fair and square in the New Zealand Cup. So I'm not thinking Republican Party's not top pick. He's everyone's top pick. Everybody knows that. But Merlin's every chance, like flip of the coin, to step in front of him and get the lead, because sooner the better's next to Merlin, who's a good beginner. So he's every chance to be in front. So picking, gun to your head, get the result right, yep, absolutely Republican Party. If you're a punter, Merlin is by far the better bet, and even a better bet if you back him top 2, because it doesn't make any sense, that 40% profit margin versus 380% when you consider what we saw at the New Zealand Cup. That's just the way the punter should look at this race.
Well, what about for you? Are you having a punt in the race? Is there a sneaky place price or same race multis you'd be playing around?
Well, I think he's obvious at $1.40. You run through most of the multis during the day, so you're not going to back him individually. You're running through your multis. I think probably the play around him, definitely Merlin and Akuta. Merlin trialled the other day with Better Knuckle Up, and what I would say on Better Knuckle Up, Tony Hurley picks up the drive, and his standing start was very good with Tony the other day. Actually stepped the best I've seen him. So out wide, he's a good chance to settle in the top 4 or 5. I think he's a best top 4 chance and value in the race.
Can he be beaten?
Of course he can be beaten. It's a horse race. Crazy things can happen. But I think there's probably 2 scenarios where he shouldn't be $1.40. And that's probably if Merlin does happen to find his way onto his back because he is so fast. Or if a horse like Sooner the Better steps to the lead and like last year wants to hold the position, Greg.
Yep, and that is a distinct possibility. I think the best bet in the race is Better Knuckle Up. Tony Hurley looking for another Auckland Cup. That would be 9. I expect him to get him away from a stand. If he is in a stalking position, Matthew, I think he's the bet in the race. Maybe 1/4, 2/3 type scenario, however you like to back a horse. I just gleaned from Barry Purdon on radio the other day. They have got this horse exactly where they want him to. If there's a bit of a war up front, he'll be the benefactor.
The other Group 1 on the night, Greg, is the Group 1 Peter Breckin Memorial National Trot. Is it as simple as it being a race in 2 between Mighty Logan and Oscar Bonavena?
Well, logic tells you Mighty Logan will lead. Hillbilly Blues will be sitting on his back. And I know Michael Guerin's big on his progression, and now he's arrived in open company. He's going to be right up to this type of race. Oscar's so fast. You just never count him out. They haven't been collecting in the last 10 days with him, so he might be a different commodity this week.
Going to be interesting to see what does happen at the start, because I think Belneege has the ability to go forward at the start and maybe look to hand to Mighty Logan, which wouldn't help Hillbilly Blues. So that's the one little fly in that ointment. Oscar's concern for me, even though we all know how good Oscar is how is he going to get pressure into the race? I don't see there being any pressure, and he can't blast off the gate because he's a little bit loopy. So he's going to be back in the field, and the horses who are going to be between him and the other favourites, I don't think are good enough to get him around the field and get him into the race. So Mighty Logan, clear top pick, and then you start talking about the machinations that go on around the start or the middle of the race, as in who could be a danger. But Craig, I don't think anybody would be stunned to see Oscar Bonavena win. I'm just not sure how he's going to get that slingshot.
Yeah, I think he can win, Michael. I think he's drawing off the unruly. He doesn't have to get involved early. He'll just follow through from the middle of the second row here. I agree with what you're saying with Belneege. I actually map it to cross them early, and then it'll be up to John Dunn to press forward middle stages to find the front. I think there's enough tempo inside the first 400 metres that Oscar can get into it. If you look at his run the other day, his sectionals were the best sectionals out of that race. They were better than Mighty Logan, and they were better than Hillbilly Blues. He ran the fastest last 800, 400, 56.8, and I reckon he won't be more than 4 or 5 lengths off off them. He hasn't won this race in the past, Matt, but he's been placed on multiple occasions. So I think this year could be his year.
Brett, for you, is there anything else to add, or is there something outside of the top three in the market?
I think at this point in time, it's fairly straightforward. Mighty Logan is the most likely leader, and if Hillbilly Blues is on his back, well, he was excellent last time out, and he's clearly a horse on the way up. But one thing we know for sure is that John Dunn out in front is a very, very hard driver to get by, because he will rate it that it's really hard for anyone to make a move, and there's probably not a logical parked horse either. And then he'll make it that the sectionals on the way home are very hard to overcome for Oscar as well.
OK, Craig Thompson, we'll come straight to you with your thoughts around the Brecon Farms Juvenile Classic. Buddy Good was very good last time out, and Cripper Max looks a little bit untapped. How did you dissect the two-year-olds?
Well, they both come out of Cambridge races a week apart, Matt, and they both ran a 156-mile rate. The difference between the two of them was the big fella was in front and Buddy Good was 3 wide the entire 1,700 metres. It was an enormous run. Now, he's drawn inside the Nathan Mark Purdon runner, and I think that may be the advantage for him. He's second favourite at $3. I didn't mind him, Michael. He's a nice horse, very good after the back of that first up run at Auckland, benefit from that run. And probably the two-year-old of Mark's, he's probably a year away from seeing his best.
Yeah, I agree. Anna Donnelly's horse could cap a really amazing season for her. He was enormous, the brother to Kango. I'm still not sure either of them are exactly where they need to be to win this race if there's high pressure. And going around that first bend at Alexandra Park, I'm actually going Prince Lincoln on top here. I think at $5, he was beaten by a really good horse last time out. So, Matt, I'm happy enough to be on him each way-ish, even though one of the other two could quite easily beat him. But I'm just not sure how he's going to handle that first bend at Alexandra Park, because he's still got a lot to learn.
Michael, race number 9 is the Dunstan Speed Feed Summer Series for the fillies and mares. You've got Ultimate Racer Girl, who is third up this preparation, and Arden's Memory, who seems to have really strengthened up this prep.
Well, the big difference here is Arden's Memory has been racing significantly better horses than most of these, with the exception of Ultimate Racer Girl. So clear favourite, clear top pick. Princess of Savoy, unlucky to be parked last week at Cambridge, should be better for that experience, but follows through behind a horse who doesn't have great gate speed. Arden's Memory on top. Ultimate Racy Girl, well, very obviously would seem to be the danger.
There's 12 points rating difference between the first horse and the horses that are drawn out wide here. Best bet of the night for me, Arden's Memory. She's a very good mare, and she's coming off a Metro final that she beat Words and she beat Tyson. They've both gone on to win. She was 5th behind Francent in the Group 1 last start, and I think she's drawn to go forward, and they put the blinds on her. I think 270 into 230. I'd be surprised, Matt, if she started over $2.
Right, looking forward to the coverage there. Trillion Trust Auckland Cup night. Those markets out on tab.co.nz. The team will be on track nice and early for you here on Trackside. Time for our best bets. Brittany, you can kick us off.
I'll go with Debbie Lincoln tomorrow night at Alexandra Park. She was so good in her couple of runs down here in the south against the very best 3-year-old fillies. She's got a wonderful short course record, enough gate speed to take advantage of her positive draw. And to be fair, she's due a change in luck as well. She's been racing very well for a long time and hasn't got a win. Hopefully she can end the year with one there.
Yeah, I quite like her as well. I think the best bet of the night for me is Buddy Good. I love the way this horse, I mean, you've got to go back and watch the whole replay. Sat 3 wide the whole race and just kept on giving. Nice barrier draw. Now it's had one run at Alexandra Park. The experience will do it the world of good. I think Buddy Good can do it at $3.
An outstanding bet. We'll tell you why in a second, but here's the actual machinations of the race. Comes out of a 3-year-old trot on Golden Gate Night, which was really strong. You're right, Dale won that, and she's in the Open Class Group 1. You never know who's in the race. There's Open Class horse form around this horse who drops enormously back in grade, and we're about to give you a little spoil. So it's $1.75, which is fair. I think it'll pay about $1.40. Here's 2.3 for your Hundy with the box seat boost. That clearly, for me now, Craig, becomes a bet.
Looks very well placed, doesn't it, Michael? And the boost is attractive. Best time, as I mentioned, Arden's Memory. I think if you look at her form, she's won 3 from 5 in the north. That Metro final, she had to sit parked out. So not only is she winning in very quick time, but she's doing it the hard way and over 1,700 metres with the blinds on. Even if she has to get to the breeze here, I think only Ultimate Racy Girl is higher rated than her in the race. I think she looks a standout, Matt, and she's my best of the night. What's your best?
My best, I'm heading to Omakau. Well, the I Dream of Jeannie farewell tour continues, and it's a winning farewell tour so far. Small field suits, she's airborne, they're giving you $1.60. She's coming off a dominant win with the plugs in and the blinds still up and the harness 5,000. Here's a wrap of our bets of the week here on the box seat, brought to you by Brecon Farms. I Dream of Jeannie at Omakau. Debbie Lincoln for Brittany, $4.60, nice price. Buddy Good, $3. Hillbilly, $1.75. And for the Whale, Arden's Memory at $2.70. Before we end the show, it's been a heck of a year, the last 12 months in harness racing, so I thought we'd go around the table and get one highlight from each of us. And Brittany, is there one moment of the year that stands out more than the rest?
Oh, it was a great year, wasn't it, in racing from start to finish. But one race and one, I guess, storyline of the year was the win of Bet and Win in the Rowe Cup. It was an emotion-charged point of the year, not long after the loss of Greg Sugars, of course, who was very close with the white. So they were battling with emotion, and they were battling with a horse who wasn't quite at his best. He came into the race fresh, and he was able to deliver the story of the Butt legacy in this race as well, with Bob adding his name to the driver's honour roll. And then, even aside from all of those storylines, Greg, it was the fact that the race was right on from start to finish. There were horses rolling off the fence. There was just so much around this race that it really stood out to me.
Yeah, it was a wonderful occasion and an awesome night for all involved in that horse. This was also an awesome night. You and I have seen this horse on multiple occasions. I wanted him to come to New Zealand and show the people of this great country just how good he is, and Leap to Fame did that, and in spades in the race by Betcha. It was a terrific occasion, a brilliant staying performance by him, and for mine, Michael Guerin, that was his career best performance.
Yeah, I thought it was the most emphatic performance alongside Kingman in New Zealand for the season. Mine was Tracy the Jet, for some of the reasons that Britt just mentioned. Of course, the worst day of the harness racing year was the day we all found out Greg Sugars had passed. That was horrific. But for Jess and moments like this to come to Addington on a big day and win a $500,000 slot race, I don't mean to oversell it, guys, but you could feel the presence there. You could feel that love for Greg right through the stabling area, and everybody saying, this is a win not for a country or a stable, this is a win that the industry should enjoy and relish for what it was. So that was my special moment of the harness racing season in 2025, Craig.
It's a big moment, wasn't it, Michael? Mine was during Cup Week as well, and it was the performance of Got the Chocolates beating Marketplace in the Velocity, $500,000. We were looking forward to this match race, and it turned out everything that we hoped it would be. They took off from 400 out, and Got the Chocolates in a 152-mile rate ran down Marketplace in what was a titanic struggle. Really looking forward to these two moving on as a 4-year-old and probably targeting races like the New Zealand Cup. Got the Chocolates, such a good star, and of course, Marketplace got revenge in the Derby a week later, Matt. So I think it was one of your highlights, or your season highlight as well. These two very good 3-year-olds going head-to-head.
Yeah, it was the race. I'd love to go back to that last 100 metres when they were at war up the straight. We're going to wrap up the show and wrap up 2025. Thanks to Michael and Craig up there in Auckland. Thanks to you, Britt, as well as Greg. All the best for the new year with Brecon Farms. That is the box seat for 2025. We'll see you back here on January 20. Until then, see you later.